What's up guys, it's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the opera where we have two brand new 5-star heroes in the portal, including this freakish looking dude Von Rothbart, and we have another little dude in the portal as well. So you know what we're going to do. We're going to have a look at them today. We're going to see what they're all about. We're going to break them down. We're going to see whether they can compete with the big boys, because that's what we all want to know. Can they hold up to the big boys? So let's get into this portal right now. We do still have the Harvest Festival going at the moment with the foxes in, and I think those two heroes in there are pretty damn brutal. So they've got a lot of work to do. We will start off with my boy Von Rothbart, but this is the other guy that we're going to have a look at as well. Armand. Jeez, these names, man. Oh, Armand Moncharmin. Just a cool ass name, isn't it? So, Von Rothbart. Yeah, he's a dark hero. He is of the sorcerer class, so that gives him the chance to delay. We've got the opera family bonus, where they get a bonus for 1, 2, or 3 heroes, and it boosts absolutely all of their stats. That is a really good bonus, because you can get anywhere up to 15% attack, defense, and HP bonus just by having these heroes on your team. So I'm a fan of that. They also get an event hero bonus, which is obviously in the Secrets of the Opera event, which is currently ongoing. Now, the passive skills for Von Rothbart is the resist defense ailments. So he has an innate resistance against all ailments and negative stacks as well that affect defense. It doesn't apply to ailments that affect elemental defense, so you can still give elemental defense down. I think the Styx family, you can't give them any kind of defense down, or a couple of the other ones. But with these heroes, you can give elemental defense down, but you cannot give them regular defense down ailments or stacks. That's a really good passive, very strong, and makes them a bit more survivable. Now, they also get, or he also gets a heal when status ailment expires or is cleared. So the character receives 10% health every time that a status ailment expires, or it's cleansed, or removed, or reallocated from them. So anytime you remove any kind of ailment on this character, whatever it might be, he is going to get a 10% health boost, which is pretty cool. So the passives are good. The family bonus is good. He looks weird. I'm not going to say great, like it's just an awkward looking character. I'm not the hugest fan of the looks of the opera characters, but that is just probably more personal preference than anything. And I know there's enough families in this game that everybody can have their loves and hates. So I'm not a huge fan of the art, the way he looks, but that's really neither here nor there. It's more about what he's going to be doing. So let us have a look at his stats first of all. Big team power. We're getting up nearly to 1100 on the team power. So for this guy, his attack stats going to be just under 1200 attack. That is with the base, without any limit breaks or emblems or anything on it. It's nearly 1200 attack. Now, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I remember a time when getting a hero to 1000 attack was a humongous achievement, and you had to throw everything that you had, including the kitchen sink, at it. But nowadays we get it right off the bat. So there you go. Have your 1174 attack without any emblems or limit breaks. It's great. Defense 1052. I'm going to call that kind of squishy in today's day and age. And then health 1874. Just humongous stats. If we do look at the max power, we're going to see he benefits from the special skill boost, which at the beginning of each turn, his special skill deals an additional 30% damage for 6 turns at the beginning of the battle. So that's a pretty decent ether talent as well, if you do decide to go ahead and second limit break. Now, getting on to the Ballad of Pain, which is his special. Sounds pretty awesome. He's running at average speed, and he deals 550% damage to the target. So a single target snipe at average speed, nothing special about that. The target dances to the Ballad of Pain for 4 turns. The dance then spreads, oh that's interesting, so to nearby enemies. So that means over the 4-turn period it can spread to the nearby enemies. They'll get 3 turns. Spread to the other enemies, they'll get 2 turns. You could basically have the whole team dancing the dance of pain. That's the idea anyway, but it won't last for quite as long as that full 4 turns. So far, well, it depends on what this Ballad of Pain is. So, the Ballad of Pain, the dancer gets silenced. When the dance ends, the dancer suffers 1700 damage. Okay, it's an interesting effect. Let's see what this little question mark says before I give my thoughts. So all existing status effects are removed when a dance status effect is added. Yeah, we know about that. Dance gives immunity to new status effects. We know about that as well. Just on that point, I have had a few comments on Guardian Gazelle in the Fated Summon video. Just so that all of you know, she does give ailment immunity. It just doesn't clearly specify it on the card. You need to open up the little question mark below, like I've just done here. But dancing gives immunity to new status effects, okay? New dance effects can replace this effect, but not any kind of ailments or status effects. So just to be clear about that. And then dance effect cannot be dispelled. Effects removed when the caster is defeated. Okay, so that's pretty standard. So when the dance ends, the caster suffers 1700 damage. This is interesting. So he's going to hit for 550% damage, and he's going to silence a target, and he's going to make the target dance. So I'm not sure how a silenced target can dance, but that is what's going to be happening. You're going to be silenced and you're going to be dancing. You're like a zombie, basically. That effect that's spreading, okay, so that is pretty awesome. So the dance that's spreading to the nearby enemies, then, you know, that then means that the nearby enemies are going to be silenced as well. And then if that spreads to the next enemy, it means that that enemy is going to be silenced as well. So if you are tactical with using this guy, it could be pretty cool to a point where, let's say you've got a cleanser healer on the opposition team. I would target that specific enemy, because I know that then they don't have any way of cleansing or getting rid of the silence effect. But you know what? It's interesting to say the dance effect can't be dispelled, but it can be replaced with other dance effects. So do you then take opera heroes to cancel this out? Or can you dispel the silence and not the dance effect? The way I'm thinking about it is that you can probably cleanse off the silence effect. Because, yeah, it says the dancer gets silenced. So I'm assuming that you can still cleanse the silence effect. But then if you cleanse the silence effect, then the whole rest of the special doesn't really work. So it's kind of a tricky one for me to say. With this guy, it's going to remain to be seen how powerful this guy actually is. Because initially when I read his card over the first time, I was thinking, okay, the dancer's going to get silenced, and then you're going to cleanse off the silence and they just keep dancing, and then basically nothing happens when the dance ends, or they get the damage when the dance ends. It's just a weird effect, isn't it? Because it could be super duper powerful. I mean, just reading over this again, I'm kind of having second thoughts, because I was going to say this guy's not that great, but actually I think he's pretty freaking awesome. I'd love to be able to just silence a whole team, you know, keep dealing damage on them, and then after 4 turns, they all get freaking 1700 damage. I kind of feel like you're going to want to take this guy out pretty quickly. I would want to focus on removing him from ruining my whole entire day and life and war and everything else. I feel like this guy, and now looking over him again, he's going to be pretty freaking strong. I mean, you can still attack him because he doesn't really protect himself. So yeah, I mean, unless you got buffs, I mean, if you do have him on your team, I would sort of recommend putting some kind of protection on this guy, because if he dies, the dance ends, it says here, so the effect gets removed completely when he dies. So that's probably what you would want to do, is target him and take him out as quickly as possible, because if you don't, you're going to have a pretty tough time, because as soon as that 4 turns is up, and in fact, when the dance spreads, the turn count reduces. So on the, you know, when it spreads to the, if it's spread twice, then that next enemy is going to only have 2 turns of that dance and that silence effect. And then they're going to suddenly receive 1700 damage, which is a huge amount. I mean, even for this guy, 1700 damage with second limit breaks and emblems is still a huge amount. I mean, you take off 1700 from his 2604 there with the second limit breaks and emblems, and you're only left with 900 HP, which is not a lot. If you take that off of a regular hero, like a season Season 3 second limit broken or Season 4 second limit broken hero, they're basically going to be dead, taking away 1700. I feel like that's kind of a team wiping special. I hope that it doesn't trigger an equalizer is all I can say, because if it does, this guy's going to wreck some teams. I like it. I like it. I hate the art, but I think this hero is very, very interesting. I am super interested to see how he performs. For now, I'm going to say he's going to be in the S tier. I think we are going to see a lot of this guy around. I think he's going to ruin a lot of phones. You know, people are going to be smashing their phones when they go up against this guy in wars, because once he hits you, it could be pretty much game over from what I'm reading there anyway. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Absolutely, let me know. But we do have another hero that we need to look at, and that is Mr. Armand Moncharmin. So yeah, he's an interesting looking character. I really do like this. A bit more comical, a bit more fun. So I'm into that. And he is, of course, going to get the same family bonus. He's a nature hero, just by the way, in case you're colorblind. Sorry, that is a real thing. People are actually colorblind, okay? Don't laugh. Anyway, so he gets a bonus for 1, 2, or 3 heroes. We know about the attack stats, defense stats, health stats, etc. He gets the resistance against the attack status elements, so an innate resistance against status elements that affect attack. Now, this doesn't really apply in the same way as the other one, because attack doesn't have an elemental element to it. So he resists all attack elements. You cannot reduce this guy's attack. He also gets the heal when status element expires or is cleansed. We will not go over that again because it's exactly the same. Okay, stats for Armand. We are looking at 1090, very minimal on the team power side of things. But he is quite a bit more defensive, so you can see there just, well, nearly 1100 attack, which is still awesome. Nearly 1200 on the defense, and then 1833 in the health. So, you know, some of the most bonkers stats in the game. Second limit breaks, special skill armor. So we can see he's all about defense. At the start of each battle, he gets 40% increased defense against special skills for 6 turns, which is awesome. And that just means he's really good at protecting himself and hopefully your team, but we'll see. So his special skill is at average speed as well, and it's called Make Them Harmless. Interesting. So he deals 300% damage to all enemies, which is going to piss them off. Summons a bodyguard mega minion. I like the sound of that, with 50% HP and 250% attack inherited from the caster. This is just going to be a hero can only have 1 mega minion. Mega minions replace all existing minions. I'm not going to read that whole thing because I think by now we have a relatively good idea of mega minions and what they do. Obviously there is a little bit in there about the effects that destroy minions, only taking away half of their health as well, but you guys can read that. But yeah, so his minion's pretty beefy, 50% HP and 250% attack, and that's inherited from the caster. So it's already at, you know, if you're second limit breaking this guy, that minion's got 1250 health right off the bat and 250% attack, which is huge. The target then hit by the bodyguard mega minion will fall asleep. Night night. The sleep effect is actually, they're pushing it, and I'm not mad at it because it's going to be similar, but it's actually pretty good. So the sleeping target receives 60% increased damage while sleeping. So a sleeping character cannot gain mana, they cannot attack. The sleeping target gets woken once it takes damage. This excludes damage from minions and fiends. Big point on that card. Excludes damage from minions and fiends. So the damage you're going to be taking, that 250% attack from that bodyguard mega minion, is not going to wake the sleeping target. That's the way I'm reading that now. So you could just let the minion do its work. I mean, if you can find places to drop tiles away from heroes, the minion is going to take them out just one at a time. 250% attack every time it hits. It's pretty huge. And then that 300% damage hit to all enemies. I mean, if you can plan it to where you can put like 3 or 4 targets to sleep, which is difficult because obviously you have to match tiles, so you are likely to wake sleeping targets. But you can then be doing 60% extra damage when you cast that huge special off, or you could get another hero in there to do that massive damage as well. this guy's going to be good as well. I mean, there's nothing not to like about him, including the card. He's very comical and very cool looking as well. But yeah, he's really, really good. I cannot understand. I mean, yeah, I can kind of understand how make them harmless really applies because you're putting everybody to sleep. But yeah, this guy is pretty awesome. I don't have anything bad to say about him, actually. I mean, the damage hit is great. The Mega Minion's awesome. You know, it's the effect that it gives where the target hit by the minion falls asleep. This is what I was looking for. I can't remember what hero it was that summoned a minion that just did their... Well, I think it was recently from the Garrison Guard portal. And the minion just basically repeated the normal minion, like the Shield Guard Mega Minion. This is what we need. When you get a minion, you want that minion to be like frustrating, and you want it to do something interesting like giving bleed damage, or in this case putting the targets to sleep. It's awesome. Only thing I could say about this guy from using heroes that put people to sleep is, like I said before, that it is difficult to plan around keeping them asleep, but in this guy's case, the nice thing is that the effect for the sleep comes from that Mega Minion. So even if you do wake somebody up, you have another chance to put them to sleep, right back to sleep at the next of the following turn. You don't need to wait to charge your special to be able to do it. So in summary, yeah, I'm loving these heroes that are in this portal. I think they are really, really good. Obviously featured alongside Odile, who's actually making a pretty good turn as a nice purple tank. But then if I pulled this guy, I'd definitely put him over her. Out of the two, man, I want this guy because his special seems absolutely devastating. But I'd be more than happy with any of them. Please do let me know in the comments what you guys think about Armand Moncharmin and Armand von Rothbart. Let me know your thoughts. I'd be very interested to hear if you guys pull them. And also if you're playing around with them, let me know how they're working. Drop us a like, subscribe to the channel. Share it with your mother, guys. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.